Goodbye to All That by Joan Didion. From her collection Slouching Towards Bethlehem. It is easy to see the beginning of things and harder to see the ends. I can remember now with a clarity that makes the nerves in the back of my neck constrict when New York began for me, but I cannot lay my finger upon the moment it ended. Can never cut through the ambiguities and second starts and broken resolves to the exact place on the page where the heroine is no longer as optimistic as she once was. It was a very long time ago, and I was 20. It was my first afternoon in New York, and I walked into the drizzle of Lexington Avenue with $70, two well-packed suitcases, a garter belt, and one bad hand-me-down fur coat that I had persuaded my mother to let me take out of the closet. I had come east to be a writer. I had read everything F. Scott Fitzgerald ever wrote, and I had the idea that New York was where the good writers lived. I had just graduated from college, and, like everyone else who makes that journey, I was in love with the city, the way you love the first person who ever touches you and never loves anyone quite that way again. I was in love with all the things you're supposed to be in love with. The bright lights, the brownstones, the mornings when I woke up, and the air smelled of snow. I was in love with the sense that something extraordinary was about to happen, that my life was finally beginning. But New York is full of such beginnings. The golden evenings and the lunches that last till 4. The men who walk you home and say goodnight with their hands in their pockets. The sense that you are never quite alone, never entirely without a reason to dress up and go somewhere. I remember walking home alone from parties at dawn, and the way the city looked when the sun came up over the East River. Not romantic, but enormous and indifferent. I remember once standing at the window of my apartment, watching a snowstorm so thick that I could barely see the street below, and thinking how beautiful it was, how beautiful everything was, even when I was sad. But things change. I learned that it is possible to stay too long at the fair, that no one ever tells you when the party is over. You just look up one day and realize it's morning, and the ashtrays are full, and the good feeling is gone. I begin to notice the cracks, the exhaustion, the repetition, the same dinners with the same people, the same talk about who had gotten which job, who was saying whom. I realized I no longer wanted to go to the parties. The glitter began to look like dust. I remember now only the moments of leaving, the taxi waiting downstairs, the keys left on the table, the final glance around the room. I remember thinking how much I had loved it, how much I still loved it, and how that was exactly why I had to go. I left New York one spring morning, tired and a little older, and when the plane lifted off the runway, I watched the skyline fall away through the mist. I did not cry, I only thought, you will never be 20 again, you will never love anything quite like this again. And I was right. Every story ends, but its echo lingers. You have just heard another tale from the world of Lingoling, where stories aren't told, they are felt. If this one stayed with you, leave a thought, share the moment, and come back for the next, because at Lingoling, the stories never really end.